There's been plenty of them. There's congressional testimony from alleged whistleblowers and contractees of the government, and there's former United States Air Force officers, and who also had intelligence clearing of sorts, and it's been a rather big embarrassment. I mean, and you and I have been texting about this for years, and you've forwarded me stuff that people are asking on the issue of UFOs, and what does that have to do with? Because people will send you stuff, and you forward it to me and say, "What are your thoughts on this?" And from the very beginning, I've been pretty consistent. While the Bible's indifferent about it, the Bible doesn't say anything about that at all. It just simply proposes right from the get-go that Yahweh is the creator of heaven and earth, that God created the sum total of a physical universe. So whatever's been created, it was at his hand.
So, and I'll ask him when I see him, hopefully in many, many years. But so why? Because we know that there's no multi-universe evidence.
Well, there's no evidence of it, and that comes from.
But who needs another universe when you have what? I mean, what are we at now? 300 billion galaxies plus?
Yeah,
more.
Sure.
I mean, who knows?
And we haven't.
It's in the hundreds of billions of galaxies. Mm-hmm. And just to put it in perspective, and I'm not condescending when I say this, because I didn't know this till years ago, that we're in the Milky Way. That's our galaxy, and our galaxy is so damn big.
It is.
We haven't even explored our own galaxy.
Sure.
Right. We have what is it? 5 million. A star that's 5 million miles wide or whatever, and you can't even see it in our galaxy. I mean, our galaxy is huge. And to think that there's 300 billion more Milky Ways, maybe bigger, maybe smaller, whatever. I don't know how big galaxies are. But the idea, and I guess God can do whatever he wants in that sense, but why create all these galaxies? And then he chose one. If we look at the universe as all the sand, all the beaches in the world, he chose one speck of sand, blue sand, which is because it's Earth. The Earth is super small. I mean, literally a speck of sand. And then to bring in the gospel message for all of the universe everywhere. I mean, sure, you can do it. I mean, like I said, I don't harp on it, and it doesn't keep me up at night. But I mean, that's a legit question, don't you think?
Well, our galaxy is substantial enough. It's significant enough. And to your point, because it's significant enough, that's just our galaxy.
Yeah.
Our sun is a pretty big star, but in the scope of
stars,
extrapolated reality, it would be a tiny star. There are other stars that are bigger than the sun. But our sun in its own right is a significant star. I mean, it's, it can fit about 109 Earths in it. And so that's pretty large. And so I can understand then that people would extrapolate if there's this many planets, there's that many stars in our galaxy. And so you can imagine if there's hundreds of billions of galaxies, how many more planets? It's in the trillions of planets.
Right.
And so the chances that Earth is the only planet that actually has complex biological life, it seems irrational to conclude that.
Right.
Okay, fine, I get that, but that's not an argument.
No, I get that.
There's been an industry built around certainty, and I think that's how I would describe it. The claim is zero certainty, or like absolute certainty and zero evidence. That's kind of where the industry is right now. There's you cannot convince.
So what
this industry of grift, in my view. Again, this is a guy who's fascinated by it, and I love a good alien movie. But then there's the notion that this is absolutely true.
What are the explanations for those objects that are
Well, it's come under scrutiny.
Okay.
And every time it's constantly over-promising and under-delivering. Again, we've had congressional testimony. The ones that I went through in detail were a United States Air Force officer and a former intelligence official by the name of David Grusch, and he went before the House Oversight Committee. And his claim was that the government since the 1930s is in possession of physical aircraft from alien, as well as physical biological material from aliens. And that it's basically presiding over a cover-up. And so think about that. That's 90 years. And so I guess I basically have two criticisms of that. And ultimately, and long before the congressional hearings, I've had two criticisms. There's a practical criticism, and there's one based on basic physics. And what ended up happening at the hearings is that my assumptions were proven correct, because when he was pushed against a corner, his argument was, I heard it from a guy who heard it from a guy. He really didn't have any evidence to offer. There were no credible sources that were offered. There were no
then
credible
what's in this
locations that
released
were offered.
file?
Or the files are just one amalgamation after another. It's contrived, and the conclusion that I have come to for decades is that, maybe 1% of the stuff is actual unexplained phenomena. And it's real and unexplained. But the vast majority are things that can be explained through physical explanations.
Really?
And so in the age of the internet, you can take 1 or 2% or 3% and you can make it look like the whole very easily. You know that.
Sure.
It's not hard to manipulate reality. And so the question then becomes, what's behind this?